Hi guys, Will here from WB Trading, and thank you very much once again for joining me here on the YouTube channel today, much appreciated. Now, if you trade with IG and you aren't aware of the mind games and the psychological games they play on more unsuspecting traders, then this is a video you need to watch. And I'm going to let you in on a secret at the end of this video too, that'll help you avoid the pitfalls of getting caught up in the games that I feel like IG somewhat play. But I have to say that, these are just my own observations. Nothing I'm going to share is fact or investment advice, etc. And this entire video is purely opinion based. So, please do take everything I share with a pinch of salt. So let's start from the beginning. I'm an IG user and I have been for quite a while. And if we start with the positives before we get into the negatives, that you absolutely need to know if you're going to trade with IG. Overall, I'm happy with them as a broker. I'm happy with the platform. I'm happy with their customer support. And one thing I really do love about IG is the fact that they offer pro real-time software for free with the use of a live account. And if you haven't already taken a look at pro real-time software, I definitely urge you to do this, as it's a lot more professional than the IG platform per se. And it can be easier to use depending on personal preference, of course, and you can deal directly via the software too as an IG user, which is, pretty useful, quite convenient. One thing I'd say though is smash that like button if you haven't, please, that would be very much appreciated. No, seriously, one thing I'd say on the topic of pro real-time is just be careful of the backtesting feature, as from experience it's almost always incorrect in terms of actual human trade by trade execution. And what I mean by that is, let's say as a really simple example, you're backtesting a moving average cross to keep things really simple and basic. The automated backtest via pro real-time will not portray the results you'll achieve as a human. And if you are going to backtest using the automated backtest feature, always take results with, again, a pinch of salt, because they're never ever accurate, or to put it more plainly, you'll never ever achieve the same results as a human physically trading the strategy you're backtesting because of things like spread variations across trading sessions and news and so on, and even right down to missing trades here and there and getting, in very slightly early or late and so on. So just bear that in mind if you are going to use the pro real-time backtesting feature. Going back to IG though, another positive that I've experienced firsthand is in relation to data errors. And to give you an example of this, at one point I was short the DAX. I can't remember off the top of my head what news event I was short going into, but there was a huge move in my favour and the platform wouldn't let me close my position. And the move started to retrace back towards my entry. I was up something like 100 points, 150 points or more at the peak of the move before it started to come back on me. And this is when I was hitting the close button, nothing was happening. And long story short, I gave IG a call as this was happening. I screenshotted the screen to kind of, show my position to them. I explained what happened, and in the end, they actually paid me the profit I'd missed out on into my account. And this was, a few £100. It was nothing insane. But they got this sorted the same afternoon too. So, I have to give it to them on that. That was kind of them, professional of them. And to be honest, that is one of the reasons I've stayed a loyal customer after that. And that's one of the reasons why I'd recommend a really good customer service, and they do look after you when something like that happens. To move away from the positives though, and towards the subject of this video, if you are an IG user, don't let them fool you. And what I mean by that is, well, let me show you a few things that they, in my opinion, used to catch newer traders out and play with them somewhat. So firstly, and this might sound simple, but the bright flashing lights on the homepage. If you weren't already aware, the reason they have these here is to actually encourage overtrading. So the purpose is to attract attention, to excite people, and almost make you think, wow, there's so much happening, there's so much movement happening, I need to trade, let me trade. And, you open the platform excited, over emotional, ready to hand over your money to them. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book, so don't fall for it. When you open your broker, you should be calm, collected, ready to execute your strategy and trade your edge, not feel excited and pumped up to jump into trades. So just bear that in mind, particularly if you are a newer trader. Next, one thing that IG offer that can either work for you or against you is the following. So take a look at this. IG will show you where their clients are positioned on each market. Now, a beginner might look at this and think, oh, brilliant. If everyone's long the pound, for example, I'd better get long the pound because, everyone can't be wrong, can they? And that's exactly why IG are offering this service to, again, fool the newer traders, the dumb money, so to speak, to, just fool the new guys, really. And the sad thing is, I've been there. I remember stumbling on this like it was yesterday and thinking, great, I've cracked it now. This is incredible. I'll just follow everyone. And the sad thing is that herd mentality, that, following what everybody else is doing, it's a deeply inbuilt human characteristic. As humans, we look towards others for direction. We want to know what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is saying, thinking, and so on. And that's why, for IG in particular, this is such a great moneymaker. Because as we know from the data that brokers now have to publish on their websites, almost all active traders lose money. But by understanding that, you can actually, in many cases, use this part of the IG site in your favor, because you can take a look at the readings, and in certain extreme cases, let's take Bitcoin during the almighty rally as an example, pretty much every single client was long, which was, one hell of an indication that perhaps we should probably be looking on the short side. Because again, it's literally a statistically proven fact that whichever way the vast majority of traders are trading, whether that's long or short, whatever the market, this is usually the wrong direction overall. Again, based on the fact that over, 80% of traders lose money, that is. In terms of using this in your favor, I've actually known a few traders in the past that have used these readings to gather a bias for their own trades. But my advice would be to start by having a look at this. Bear it in mind, perhaps build some data around this and see if you're able to add this to your toolkit in some way, if you feel it'd be beneficial to the way you trade. There's definitely a source of edge to be had here using this tool, but again, have a play with it and see if you can make it work for you. So earlier in the video, I said I'd share a secret with those of you who've stuck with me through the video, so here it is. One thing that IG offer is a built-in signal service, and these daily signals are provided by two companies. The first company is PIA First, and the second is Auto Chartist. And again, when I first started trading and I found this, I thought, God, this is going to be so easy. I'll just trade the signals that are being given to me for free. Easy as that every day, no effort required, and I'll order my Lamborghini next week. I'll start viewing mansions in the countryside next month and boom, click, easy as that. Not quite how it worked out, because believe it or not, as all of us who've been in this industry for into the years now know, trading isn't that easy. And again, this is actually a bit of a hack for those of you who use IG. Now, being as obsessed with data as I am, a year or so back now, I actually kept quite a detailed spreadsheet of every single signal provided by these two companies across a handful of markets. And long story short, I actually found their win rates to be around the 45% mark, which isn't good, isn't bad, it's not terrible. But more interestingly, I found that some of their signals would be something like, buy the euro with a 40 pip stop and a 12 pip target. And I was thinking to myself, well, that's one hell of a skewed risk reward, isn't it? But on the other side of this, what they've actually just done is inadvertently given a huge opportunity to traders who are smart enough to recognize this opportunity and just fade their calls and take the other side, because by doing that you've just turned a potential 0.3R trade into a 4R trade by just doing the opposite of the call. And I actually tried that for a short while, and although it wasn't sustainable, I knew it wasn't sustainable, I did actually make money on more occasions than I lost money by doing that, because obviously the wins were huge in comparison with the losses, which is an edge. And I definitely encourage any IG users who are watching this to at least take a look at that, because again, there may be edge there to be had. things might have changed since I built my data a year or so ago, but hey, I might be wrong, but it's always worth taking a look at, isn't it? And in fact, on the subject of turning things around and flipping things on their heads within trading, I actually made another video recently on the topic of doing the opposite, which is here on the channel, which I'd encourage you to give a watch. If you're looking for sources of edge, generated through, doing the opposite of things. And it does work, So guys, I hope you found this video useful, inspiring. If you have, I'd very much appreciate if you'd hit the like button. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, trade with edge, with consistency, and I look forward to having you back here on the channel soon.